but cannot kill the soul.
You can try. No number of anonymously sent books to your boss will make them change the kind of leader they are, but but please keep trying. But I'm a great believer that you practice the leadership skills you wish that those around you had.
Yeah.
And so if your boss is struggling to be available and admit mistakes and ask for help in private, be empathetic, just as you would want your boss to be empathetic with you if you were struggling. And in private, go and see them and be like, hey, are you okay?
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of pressure right now and I just want to check in on you.
Yeah.
Be that leader.
But there will also be people who, drop the, start with why in front of their bosses as well. But do you use your own techniques in your own life to kind of when you face challenges?
Yeah, of course. I mean,
talk me through, for instance, the golden circle. Like when was the last time you kind of went into that thought process to overcome a challenge in your life?
So all of my work is semi-autobiographical, right? So all of my work is the result of me going through some sort of struggle. Start with Why was not an academic or commercial exercise. It was born out of pain. It was born out of loss of passion. My work was good. Superficially, my life was good, and I didn't want to wake up and go to work anymore, which is very embarrassing. And I hid it. I lied to people that everything was great when everything was not great. It was just superficially great. And it was that loss of passion that set me on the journey to try and refine my passion. And what worked was I realized I knew what I did, I knew how I did it, but I didn't know why. It worked for me. When you read a great book or see a good movie, you tell your friends. And so I told my friends. And my friends started finding renewed passion in their work. And they asked me if I would talk to their friends. And before you know it, I've got a career talking about this thing called Start With Why. That wasn't the idea. It just kept working. Leaders Eat Last was the same thing. I was struggling with trust. Especially when you start to have a little bit of success, all of a sudden, I've got more friends and all my jokes are funnier. And I freaked out. I had a couple of experiences where I thought somebody was my friend. They weren't. They were working me for some sort of access or something or other, and it freaked me out. And simultaneously, I was spending a lot of time with the military, and I would meet people who would give their lives for each other. They would give their lives for people they didn't even like. In business, we don't even like to give credit to somebody else. And I just wanted to I wanted to spend time with people like that. And so I literally went to understand. I called in all these favors and traveled around to all these military bases just to understand it. I didn't expect it to be a book, but it kept working. And this idea of creating a circle of safety, psychological trust amongst a team, and where trust actually biologically comes from. It's a feeling. Where does that feeling derive from biologically? What are those chemicals?
Describe the feeling to me when you feel fully trusted by someone and when you trust in someone fully.
I think it's the same as love. I think deep, deep, deep trust is the same as love, which is it's your willingness to bare your soul, but it's also your willingness to be able to hold space for another. I think it goes both ways, right? Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you a funny thing that I'm writing this book about friendship, right? And here's a little observation that I've made that is kind of amazing. We all know that you need somebody in your life. I hope everybody has somebody in their life, at least one person, hopefully more, that in your darkest times, when you're depressed, when you're angry, when you need to vent, when you need to just get something off your chest, when you're not at your best, that you can call somebody and they can hold space for you. Like I hope everybody has at least one of those people in their lives, right? What I found amazing is the number of people that we have in our lives that we can call to brag and say how great we are, and I did something amazing, is an even smaller number. Think about that for a second. I can call more people with my problems than I can call to say, I'm amazing.
And why is
Right?
that?
And I think it's because, and it goes to this thing of trust, right? Which is to hold space for someone who's doing well and have no jealousy and have no envy, but to celebrate them like you're their parent. The pride. That is even more difficult. And I was talking to a friend of mine, great human being, who's very successful, and I was telling him this observation that I've made, and he looks at me and goes, yeah, I have no one. He's done well in his life, and he keeps it all a secret to himself. He never gets to say, I made it big today.
But isn't there just a part of us that also just withholds that? Like you feel a little bit, I know personally, I find it difficult to take pride in my work and shout that out.
That's what exactly. Like you want to. Like when something good happens, you want to tell somebody, right? And those friends that you should be able to tell, why is that number smaller than the number that we can feel that we can go to with problems? And I find that astonishing. So when you ask me what is trust, what is love? It's the person who is available for a range of emotions, for the full range of emotions that we have as human beings.